this is 1920 by 1080, 300 pixels. And I absolutely adore these old Looney Tunes style backgrounds. And so I'm going to grab one of these images to pull color from and just kind of get inspiration from. Yeah, like this one. So I'm going to use the snippet tool and hit new and just kind of grab it. If I go back to Krita and just Control V, it'll paste it in here, and now I can just grab these colors. And this will be our reference, so I'm going to name it ref. The animation I'm making the background for, I created a layout. So I'm going to drag this in, insert as new layer. And so what I did in OpenTunes is I turned on onion skinning and just kind of marked a few of the frames throughout the animation just to kind of see where my character is. So I'm going to scale this up and change the opacity down. So now we have the reference, and then we just kind of see our character, because I don't want the background to kind of interfere, you know, with the character too much. I don't want a tree like right here in the middle where he's doing all of his action, but he is fishing, so I do know I want him to walk to the edge of the water. Let's bring this layout down just a little bit more, and I'm going to go to my first, this will be my rough layer, and I almost always do a rough layer in blue. And I also have, if you come up here to settings, manage resource libraries, I have some different bundles that I've installed in Krita, and here's the link. But let's go to the ink bundle, and I'm just gonna pick, like, let's try this ink pen rough and just see how it feels. Yeah, that'll work. And let's change the color to blue. I like to work in this blue, and this will just kind of be my layout. So I know he's going to be fishing right here. We kind of have this water. Coming down like this. And sometimes it takes me a couple of tries to kind of get. And that could change. And let's do kind of a horizon line. Okay, so maybe here's a hill, and here's a hill, and maybe there's some way back off in the distance. We'll just kind of do like that. Yeah, and then in the foreground we can do some trees. So I at least want to have, I don't want a tree where he's, you know, too close to us. But I could do one. I could do a tree like right over here. And let's see, his main action's right here. So let's do some trees kind of like over here. And I'm trying to kind of bookend the action, you know, so like if the action's here, I kind of want to contain your eyes to the character right in here. Okay. And you can use the background to like guide the viewer's eyes in different locations. So here's the water, here's the tree line, here's some trees over here, and you know, maybe for the foreground we could do like this bush. Let's try it like this. So bush, and then maybe there's kind of like the idea of these trees kind of further off in the distance like this. Okay, and then we'll have a blue sky, and maybe, you know, maybe this hill right here. Maybe these are trees. Yeah, one little hill right back here. maybe we could do some bushes at the base. I don't want to get too complicated. Still want to keep it real simple. You know, maybe there's some foreground like rocks and leaves, and some background rocks and leaves. All right, so let's bump this down and start coloring. Okay, and so I'm going to just start with this foreground color. I'm just going to grab it with the eyedropper, create a new level, and we'll call this grass. And I'm going to get this lasso tool right here, the freehand lasso tool. And this is what I'm going to draw with. Let's come in here. This is all the grass, and then edit fill. Fill with foreground. Okay. And now let's drop a layer behind that. 1, 2, yeah, so let's grab this darker hill right here. And we'll draw this hill right here with all these trees on it. And fill. Okay, now let's do this hill. And that's gonna go a little bit further. So I'm gonna grab this color and create a new level. And let's just kind of make this kind of wavy, but not so wavy. It's got some trees on it, but not a lot. Okay, now let's go this very far background. So let's go here and then maybe back over here. Let's fill that. Ooh, yeah, that looks neat. Okay, let's hide the rough. Yeah, that's looking pretty cool. It's still really flat, but we're gonna add a little bit to this. Let's check our reference. Okay, so let's get some blue sky in here. And we could do a gradient to white. Let's hide the reference, create a new level, and let's just fill this. Ooh, I did the wrong thing. Okay, let's get the gradient tool and see if we can't get some kind of gradient. And it looks kind of cool. Almost like the sun's coming up or over there. I kind of like that. Let's leave it like that. And we'll do some trees in front of the, like on top of the grass, but these trees I think I want them behind. So let's go to the grass layer, create a new level, and this will be the trees. I'm just gonna leave this open and pick that color. And I'm just gonna stay loose right here. So, and I think I want these behind the grass like that. And then I'm going to try to add a little more depth. I'm going to create a new layer underneath and like that color. These trees kind of in the background like this. Let's add a little more blue to them. So let's come up here and channels. Let's just kind of add some blue. See how that feels. Yeah, I kind of like that. And then these trees will kind of taper off to the background, and we'll have some over here, kind of like they have, like tapering off. That's kind of cool. We'll color them in. Okay, and let's do some right in front and maybe on top of the grass. So let's go darker. And these will be kind of foreground baby trees. And now let's come over here, and since we have this darker color, let's block in this tree over here. And I'm just gonna do it on the same level as that tree. Okay, and I'm not going to put leaves on that, but I do want to give it some lines. So I'm going to turn off the rough layer, and I'm just going to stay on this layer and come up here, and I'm just going to take the saturation way down and going to pump up the value and get a skinnier, make my brush smaller, because this is going to be like, oh yeah, I like that. I'm just going to do like kind of some texture on the tree like this. Yeah, I kind of like that. And you know, we could do a little bush in front of it. That might be kind of cool. I know it's not on our layout, but I just kind of feel like adding it. Yeah, why not? I kind of like it. And then we need some trees back here, and I think I'm just gonna keep them like way more simple than these graphic color trees right here. I think I might just go with this tree color over here, and I want them on top of the grass, and I'm just gonna kind of freehand. That's kind of fun. And let's make the brush smaller. And I could zoom in, but I like staying zoomed out like this because I want to see how it relates to everything else. And just has this, you know, just kind of freehand look. I like that. And you could do different values for the trees, you know, push them back. I'm just gonna delete that one. But I kind of like that. I'm just gonna leave that little group of trees right there. And let's check our rough. We have a pond, we have a bush. Oh yeah, we put that bush in front. I'm gonna leave this bush off on the rough and just work on the water right now. So I'm gonna grab a blue and let's maybe make it a little bit darker. And let's go back to our lasso tool and see how this fills. Edit, fill. Okay, that looks pretty cool. Okay, let's try something here. So let's grab the magic wand and select the grass. So it selects all of the grass area. And let's try to find a brush that we can paint with to add a little texture and darkness over here. So let's grab the grass color and bump it down and get our brush. Just see what this brush does. Let's make it way bigger. Yeah, I just want to give it a little texture like this. Maybe a little bit darker under the tree. Almost like a shadow. And now let's do some lighter areas over here. So let's go a little bit lighter. Just kind of, we'll be real subtle, but I just kind of want to give it this texture. And if you get too carried away, we can always go back to that green texture. And add this back. And the texture, it probably would have been wise to put it on a different level and just mess with the opacity and stuff. But I'm just gonna keep it like this. Okay. So now let's get the grass texture color and let's make it darker. So I'm gonna do a little outline around the water. Let's go back to our ink brush. Yeah, and I want this on top of the water layer, so I'm gonna add a new level. And let's detail that. And I'm just gonna kind of freehand it like this. Kind of like that look. Now then we could maybe go over here and do some, I don't know, just some crazy lines going to the water. Might be kind of cool. And then we could do some, you know, leaves or rocks in the foreground like this. Some under the tree and by that bush. And let's drop some over here by the water's edge, kind of like that. And I kind of want to do something on top of the water, like maybe a really, really light blue, almost white, and just see if we can get some, maybe some, you know, kind of like waves in here. Might be kind of cool. Cartoony. Yeah, it's kind of cool. And we can always change that opacity down if it's too strong. Okay, yeah, so I like it. I think now what I will do is save it as a PNG and bring it into OpenTunes as my background. So happy drawing, happy animating, and until next time, I'll talk to you later.